Hey guys, this is Michael, teacher turned trucker, coming at you again. This is going to be a follow-up to a previous video, the one that was talking about things to consider when you're looking for your employer. I've started really getting into the process. I have a couple places I'm looking at. So what we're going to talk about today are things that have come up the last couple days with conversations and whatnot. Obviously, I found out that the Driver Pulse is a website that you guys can fill out your application information with. It was really nice. I found out I didn't have to keep uploading or typing and putting in my job history over and over and over again for each of them. So that was pretty nice. But a couple of things that came up. Does the truck have an APU and an inverter? One of those, okay? Ideally both. This is one of those issues that's actually back and forth with my decision which one I'm going to go with. I have a general idea of the one that I'm working towards, but this is an issue that came up. Fortunately, I'm going through this process with a friend of mine. He's also looking at getting into flatbed trucking, and he's actually, I believe, accepted a position today with the place that I'm looking to go on to. So we'll see how that goes. So does the truck have an APU? That's going to be used to run your AC. Some other things I'm assuming. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that I live in Florida, and so I'm used to it getting really hot. And I know when I sleep, I want to be able to turn the AC on, but a lot of these companies don't want you to turn the truck on because of the fuel mileage. So there's that there. And then the inverter is so you can hook up your if you want to have a microwave or TV or a coffee pot, a coffee maker, refrigerator, stuff like that. So that's where the inverters are going to come in. So check and see about those, because some of that stuff may be the make or break for you. Another thing, I came up with one of the companies I was looking at is, do they require you to do local, regional, or over the road for a specific period of time before you get to choose? Meaning, do they require you to do local, or do they require you to do regional before you can switch to one of the others? If you're wanting to be hired and do over the road, long haul, then doing local is probably not going to be something you're really interested in. Conversely, if you're wanting to do regional and you have to do over the road, that may be a deal breaker for you. For me, it doesn't matter. I know I wanted to do over the road to start out with, which seems to be a little bit easier to get that going. And the regional, I can do it or not. It doesn't matter to me because where I'm at in the Southeast United States. So then the last thing is, how much is paid for tarping, live loading, and for detention pay? These are things that came up in some of the conversations when talking with some of the recruiters. And without going into specific numbers for the companies, you want to look, first of all, at the detention pay. Do you get paid? If so, when does it start? I'm finding it's normally after 2 hours with the places that I've talked to. Some may do more, some may do less, some may make it longer. And then how much is paid for detention pay? I figure if I can make comparable to what I'm making when I'm driving, it's not so bad. But I know the one I talked to yesterday, this was actually one of the things that kind of turned me off a little bit. The detention pay was only like, I think he said like $10 an hour, and that's not a whole lot. How much can you make if you're driving? And then on top of that, cents per mile, percentage, which one of those are you looking for? So those are all some factors that to take into consideration. Tarping, do you get paid to tarp? Another thing that came up with that one a little bit was the percentage of their loads that are pre-tarped. Not all flatbed companies are the same. If you're someone who you want to do flatbed, but you want to do kind of sort of more drop and hook, not necessarily the same, you still want to secure them a bit. But some of the flatbed companies, most of their loads are already going to be pre-tarped for you. Other flatbed companies, you're going to tarp every single load. So you want to consider this when making a decision. I know it's something that's been on my mind. It sounded great that the majority of the loads are tarped, but then again, I'm getting into flatbed because I want to get a little bit of the exercise. in addition to the driving. So I want that physical element, and if most of them are basically just drop and hook or akin to it where the loads are already tarped, then I understand why the cents per mile is a bit lower in that particular area. So just a quick video, some things that I'm working through right now. Just wanted to kind of point out to you guys, maybe get you asking those questions, thinking about these things, and deciding what's important to you. Again, the location of the terminal came up as an issue. One of the places that they have a terminal right here close by. The other place, they don't have a terminal close, and I actually have to pay to park my truck. I don't get reimbursed. That was an issue. So there you just have to run the numbers. Are you going to get paid as much where the place that you're having to pay for the parking? Is it going to compensate you for paying out of pocket? Are you going to make more than you would the other place? So that was kind of my rationale, my thought process. Personally, I think you should be reimbursed for parking your truck, for having to pay if you live X distance away from their nearest terminal. So hopefully that's something they consider in the future. I don't think that you should ever make a driver pay to park your rig unless they choose to do so. But if that's a requirement to get a job, then that's something you want to be mindful of moving forward. All right, guys. Again, this is Michael, teacher turned teacher, or teacher turned trucker, coming at you. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the boxes below. Please be sure you like the video. Let me know what you guys are thinking, any ideas or suggestions you have. And again, just keep learning.